What's up guys, it's Rowan here from AOSTV, and in this video you're going to learn exactly how you can reduce your stress during your HSC fast. I'm going to share two really powerful strategies. The number one is going to be something called chunking, and the second strategy is going to be something called wall charting. So let's jump in and find out how you can reduce your stress during the HSC really quickly. So from work with thousands of students over the last decade, I see constantly that there's two main drivers of stress. The first is uncertainty, and the second is urgency. So the W. Now, let me explain. I think the big thing that really drives stress is if you don't know what you need to do, it's stressful. So let's say you get an assessment, you look at it, and you're like, wow, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. I don't know when I've got to do it. That creates stress. So uncertainty is a huge driver of stress. And it's often compounded then by urgency, because if all of a sudden you've only got 1 week to do this assessment and you've got no clue how to do it, the stress levels just ramp up another notch. So uncertainty and urgency are the two key drivers of stress. And so if we're going to really quickly lower your stress levels during the HSC, what we need to do is we need to think about practical things that you can do to actually, tune down these drivers, reduce the uncertainty and reduce the urgency. And so that's exactly what we're going to look at with the next couple of strategies that we're going to explore right now. So number one, you've got to write it down, right? You've got all of this stuff in your head right now, and if it stays in your head, it's going to contribute to that sense of overwhelm, right? That feeling that you don't know what you've got to do and when you've got to do it. So if it's in your head, it's going to create that uncertainty, and it's going to make everything feel urgent, so you can't actually take a step back and prioritize. So the first task, super simple, is I want you to sit down, pick up a piece of paper, get a pen, and I want you to just write everything down, a huge to-do list of all of the things that you think you need to be doing to prepare for this assessment, this exam, whatever you have coming up. I want you to get it out of your head and onto the page. That's step number one, really simple. Now step number two, that list itself may still make you feel overwhelmed, right? Because there's so much stuff that you've written down, and each of those tasks might actually be quite large. Right, so in themselves, they're quite overwhelming. And so that's where we need to now look at something called chunking, and that's the second step here. And there's a really silly sort of phrase, which is, how do you eat an elephant? Right, and the answer is, well, a chunk at a time. Now, hopefully maybe that sticks in your brain because it's a little ridiculous, but the point here is that the way in which you want to tackle this and make it less overwhelming is to actually break those tasks into chunks. So now that you've got that to-do list of all of these different things written down on the page, what I want you to do really easily is I want you to pick a couple of the really big items, the ones that are a little scary that you're looking at and are feeling a little overwhelmed with. And what I want you to do is I want you to break them into 3 specific smaller tasks that you could do. Right, so write the task, you'll have 3 lines that come off it, and break it into 3 distinct smaller tasks. So that way, instead of looking and getting overwhelmed with something huge, you've actually got 3 smaller tasks. I'm going to be trying to use this to make the work that you need to do feel less overwhelming. So that's step number 2. So the final and third thing you can do to help reduce the uncertainty and the urgency is to take your to-do list, which is now chunked, and to actually map it to time. Because to be frank, right now, unless you map it to time, there's still a lot of uncertainty, there's still a lot of urgency, and it's something we call wall charting. It's called a wall chart because you're eventually going to stick it on a wall as a chart so you know what to do when. Now, if you've got less than 7 days, what you need to do is you need to take that chunked to-do list and identify on specific days of the week exactly what you need to get done. So that way you have certainty around what needs to be done and maybe a bit of urgency, but certainly less urgency. If you've got a couple of weeks, well then what you're going to do is you're going to identify key items on that chunked to-do list and allocate them on weeks that you're going to achieve them by. So you've got more flexibility in the second case if you've got a couple of weeks, because rather than daily goals, you've got milestones for the week that you're going to achieve. So there you have it, the 3 things. You've got to get it out of your head and write a to-do list. Number 2, you've got to chunk it so that none of these individual tasks are too overwhelming. And number 3, you're going to wall chart it up so that you know when you're doing it. These 3 simple things will make a huge difference in actually reducing the uncertainty and the urgency that you have, and therefore it will reduce your stress, right? It might not seem like it, but I guarantee you from seeing hundreds and thousands of students that do this, it makes a huge difference to stress levels across the course of your HSC. And that's why planning during the HSC is key. So if you have any questions, you know the drill, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to support you on your journey. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I will see you then next week.